My name is Frank Morejon. I am the talent coordinator for House of Fame MMA. House of Fame is putting on an event on March 13th at the Bank United Center. It is Nations Collide. It is USA versus Cuba, where they're actually bringing Cuban fighters from Cuba to come to the United States and compete against the Americans in mixed martial arts. It's an event that has never been done before. It's first in its kind. It's a history in MMA in South Florida. It's a great event. For those who are going to be there live to see it March 13th, what you're going to take a look at is a couple of fighters who are champions, who are debuters. It's a very mixed um, range of fighters. You have those who have been fighting for years and those who have just started. And I think they did that on purpose in regards to making sure that the fighters in Florida have that opportunity to showcase their skills. They were very strong on the fight card being Florida based and in a situation where the debuters who've been fighting in amateurs now for a long time and wanting that shot as a pro are finally going to get that shot. And finally, after so many years toning their skills, are going to get the opportunity to showcase their skills on March 13th. Yeah, the event is going to happen in Coral Gables in Miami, in center of Miami, again at the Bank United Center, which is the University of Miami campus. It's located in an area where the Cuban community is very familiar with. Little Havana, Hialeah, where it's mostly dominated by Cuban population. They're all invested in this event. One of the things that House of Fame is doing that I haven't seen yet in other promoters is that the fact that they're doing Fame Nights. And what Fame Nights is that they're going to the community, they're going to the Latin communities, into the Spanish communities, and promoting this event with getting to know the fighters. They bring the fighters, they bring the Fame girls, they sell tickets, they give away tickets, they give away T-shirts, and they really promote the event and really promote the fighters. And that's a great thing to do. So the relationship that's building between the community, the Latin community, and HOF is a great thing to see and a great thing to be a part of. It's not just about the Cuban fighters, but we have the American fighters as well. So it is twofold. It brings the Cuban fighters, give the Cubans exposure in mixed martial arts. At the same time, it's giving exposure to the Americans that are here, and even the Cuban Americans that are on the card. So we have Cuban Americans that are on this card who came from Cuba on a boat, who basically risked their lives to cross over and to be here. So those fighters are here on this fight card who are going to fight for Cuba, who are saying, hey, listen, Cuba's where I was born. That's my patria. That's where, there was a home for them. So they understand what's happening here and the relationships now with Cuba and USA and trying to open up the communication even more now. It's just a perfect time. Well, what I find fascinating about that is that the Cubans that are out there in Cuba who are training for this specific event, they're using exactly what they have on the island. We kind of use big tires. They're using rocks. They're using things at their disposal. And of course, the technology that they have in Cuba is not the same here in the United States. And here, not only based on the equipment and the knowledge and everything else, they have to work twice as harder to get to the same level that the U.S. fighters are at. But make no mistake about it, these guys, what they have more than any technology or any equipment or anything else, the one thing that they have that is unquestionable is their heart. These guys are coming to fight, period. And it's going to be interesting to see that who wins. A fighter who has less at their accessibility but has a huge heart and will make this thing happen, or a fighter who has everything, all the supplements, all the training methods, all the knowledge, and it's like a Rocky story. It truly is. Rocky Balboa, who basically, as we all know the story and all seen the movie, started from going to a meat locker and started hitting meat, in a frozen meat locker, while the other guy was punching a bag in a boxing gym and using the gloves and everything else. So it's kind of like that same thing. They're both doing the same aspect. They're both hitting something. They're both working their workouts. But the way they're doing it has totally different methods. And it'd be interesting for me personally to see what works the most. Or is it the same? I don't know, but that question will be answered on March 13th. House of Fame has had an event. Their debut was in Jacksonville. at the Jacksonville Memorial Arena, which was an amazing event. And now they moved to South Florida for this event, Nations Collide. When they said, hey, we're going to put Cubans versus Americans, where can we do it at? The Cuban population, the Little Havana, the mayors, and everybody put their 2 cents in and said, hey, if you're going to do Cuba versus USA, you might as well do it down here in South Florida. So it didn't take long for the owner, Mr. Paris Citos, to say, hey, you know what? Little Havana, Hialeah, Miami, that's the place to be. So they are doing their show here. I believe on the press conference they are going to announce how many shows they have. I think there's 4 more for this year. Definitely they're returning back to Miami. They will be back in Miami at the Bank United Center, as well as in Jacksonville and even Atlanta. I tell you what, people should come out to this event simply for one reason. It's going to be an amazing night of fights. It is also history in the making, where they have 2 different nations competing against each other. And actually, the event is called Nations Collide. Make no mistake about it, they will be colliding on March 13th. You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com or go to their website, check out the pictures, check out the videos. It's amazing what they're doing as far as production is concerned. It's a huge venue. The experience that the MMA fans are going to get is second to none. There's actually going to be a block party hours before outside of the Bank United Center that is going to be crazy. So I encourage everybody to go to houseoffamemma.com or simply HOFMMA.com. Check out what's going on. Check out their events page. They've got block parties going on. They got the main event, of course, going on. But it's going to be an experience for the MMA fans. They're going to enjoy the fights. They're going to enjoy the venue. They're going to enjoy the block party. It is going to be an amazing night. Not just the fights, but the MMA communities have a great time. So check it out, March 13th, Bank United Center. Check us out on the website, HOFMMA.com. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com as well. It's going to be a night of fights you don't want to miss. Well, absolutely. We like to thank the MMA community for supporting HOF. In the state of Florida, as you know, there are 6 MMA promoters. There's 6 promoters who are trying to build the sport of MMA, HOF being one of them. HOF is started up north in Jacksonville. They're moving their way down to South Florida. We appreciate what they're bringing to South Florida. It's a world-class MMA organization. The attention to details and the way they treat their fighters is second to none. It is actually an event that when people see it for the first time and they see what brand it is, they're going to fall in love with it. The fighters who fought on the last card in January fell in love with the company. They are hounding Paris to put them back on the card because of the way they were treated, the way they were respected. They got the props and the recognition that they deserved as an MMA professional fighter. HOF has shown that they're a professional company doing big things. They're the first ones to actually team up with the Jacksonville City Council. So that's huge. When Jacksonville said, hey, we've got sports organizations that from football and hockey, they wanted to add MMA, they went with HOF. House of Fame is their actual MMA organization in Jacksonville, and that's through the Jacksonville City Council, which the mayor is said to himself. Mayor Brown said, hey, we need to bring more people into the city of Jacksonville. We need to show them how beautiful this city is. We need to show them what great potential we have from a sports view. And they realized that MMA was growing. It's a big sport. It's a billion-dollar industry now with the UFC and all that good stuff. And said, you know what? Let's bring them here. And when they were talking about MMA, House of Fame came into the picture, and they made House of Fame their official MMA organization. That's huge. That tells you that House of Fame is not only doing shows for the fighters, but they're also doing the right thing and building partnerships along the way so that they can give the fighters more exposure, so they can work towards making MMA in general bigger than what it is here in Florida, because it definitely needs fights. Last year, we ended up with 23 MMA shows, 23 pro shows with 6 promoters. Now, if you compare that to other states, we're low in numbers. We definitely need to bring it up. We need to bring those numbers up. And HOF, being the new kid on the block, trying to make things happen, making the right moves, and they're doing the right things as new as they are. This is going to be their second show, and already they've made some big waves. So come out and support HOF, House of Fame. well deserved. They are working their butts off in order to make sure that this event goes smooth. Bank United, their support has been tremendous. The sponsors, Fighter Energy. Fighter Energy is an amazing company, amazing product. If you know who they are, check them out at fighterenergy.com. All the other sponsors, the U.S. Army is on board now with them, so that's a major sponsor as well. They have Seabest. I mean, the list goes on and on with all the sponsors. Thank you to JKB, Carlos Fernandez, for bringing the association. They're the first Cuban martial arts association that's in Cuba. Working with them, we're able to make this event happen. So we just want to thank all the sponsors, the Newport Beach Resort. Thank you guys for having them here with the press conference and the VIP night and everything else that they're doing. It's going to be an amazing event. Don't miss it. Check out HOFMMA.com. Get to know the company. Get to know the promoter. Especially get to know the fighters. Be there March 13th at Bank United Center. Check out the website and we'll see you there.